Ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls, we're talking about Tesla. Like we normally do, we're going to talk about the markets after that, right? We're going to talk about the dollar, Bitcoin, the Russell, the Nasdaq, the S&P. Now, I normally break them down in this order, but in case you clicked on it because it was a YouTube, the YouTube thumbnail was Tesla. What did I even make this? Tesla. I'm not even sure what the title is, but anyway, I'm sure it had Elon or Tesla involved. So let's talk about Tesla first, because if you've been watching my videos, one of my last videos, I said I referenced Tesla right now. Tesla at the 160 price was like me buying Meta at 90. And I said, it doesn't matter. Just I'm buying it. It's a buy to me. I don't care what you think. Don't care what your opinion is. I don't care. And I mentioned there's a robotics race. There's a lot of things that could be involved. So fortunately or unfortunately, I have not been assigned. So I've been since that video, and well, even in that video I was mentioning, I'm selling the 160 strike puts. So I'll get assigned, I'll get filled. I will have more shares at 160. I will sell the 160 puts until they get assigned. Yeah, I mentioned if it does break below that, what my next strikes would be after that. But they haven't. And I moved up to the 162.50. Still nothing. Closed them down today. Everything's just up. I still have a few left that are out there, but I gave those time. And I wasn't really focused on hyper managing these things. I was going to let them. I'm going to rock this thing all the way to expiration, or I'm going to get shares. Kind of how it's going to go. But once you start making 70, 80%, at that point, just doesn't matter. I figure I'll just lock in the money when it, especially on a green day. So you can see recently Tesla's had a pretty decent push up, and I've liked this 160 mark. I was going to buy it at this zone anyway, so that's why I chose to sell the 160 puts. It's done nothing but just go up. And on red days, it's fun to sell more because the premium gets jacked up. Um, so being up 70%, I figure I'll close them down. I'll take the free internet money because it's essentially what it comes down to. I click my thumbs. I sold a strike, never got there. Took the gambler's money. Let's go again. So whoever thought Tesla was going to just blast past 160 and he bought the put that I sold him, I appreciate you. My account is full of people like you. I couldn't be here without you. So genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, shout out to your gambling fantasies because they make me money. Anyway, on that note, again, up 70%. Why not lock it in? If we get another red day, if we pull back, even making a higher low, any kind of red day, it would bring those premiums up, pulling back to the 173 mark. I would likely still have to give it some time. I may even consider at this point the 165s because of how much I've already collected. I certainly wouldn't be red on that by any means on that plan or anything. Now Cody, I see him in the chat. He says, "Who was that got free internet money from selling a call spread today?" He did call this out in the chat. He said, "Hey, what do you think about selling a what was it 2 standard deviation Tesla call spreads?" And it had just been pushing up and going, so I decided against it. Then, as you see, we hit this zone. We sold off. He already closed his position. It was just again free internet money. And what I mean by free internet money is you don't actually own the shares. You just get more money in your account for risking possibly maybe owning shares. In his case, it was just a regular trade. But so let's talk about Tesla and why I think it could actually pop up. We've seen Tesla sell off, and it's done a very good job at selling off, very much so in this channel down. Wow, we've been in this channel down for, well, we got a little bit excited here, but let's just draw this out as a matter of fact. Naturally, that would be in the way. Gosh, I need this. There we go. Gone. So I'm going to trace this line just, I will give it a little bit more. I just wanted to see if we brought, now I've had this channel highlighted before, but I wanted to see if we actually just brought it up back here. Did we bring anything up? So this is actually changing everything. So it's the middle line right here. Let's go candle bodies, point of contact. All right. So you know what? Let's just leave that channel on there for a little bit. Now, I don't want to sell you guys a long position. I told you guys what I'm doing with it. Again, I don't care what you do. That's not my money. I care what I do with my money. You can do whatever you want with your money. Now, because it's hitting the bottom of a channel down, or same thing as when it hits a channel, it hits the top of that channel. People think, oh, it's time to take the opposite play. like, oh, like usually it's a channel up, it's at the top, people will go short. It can go sideways forever. For instance, if this just goes sideways forever, eventually this catches up and you get the breakdown. You never got that bullish point. So bouncing off the bottom of a channel does not mean buy by almost any stretch of the imagination. But we did bounce it, and characteristically, we do get to these levels that there was almost, if anyone's ever traded like a mean reversion style play, we kind of have this. Overall, what that means is kind of like here is our the mean, right? And funny enough, we even bounced off this a lot. So we get outside of this. I think there's even an alert that has these lines already drawn. Is there really? Regression trend. I wonder if that's it right there. I've never actually used this tool, but let's well, it's as far as we can go. Well, they get a little excited. They are a little bit amped. Can we maybe move this a tad bit? And they're really pumped for this thing. Where's my lines at? Huh. That's kind of crazy. Well, I'm sure someone will explain to me how I was using it wrong or what it actually means, and that's sweet. I'm gonna give it one more shot. I just want to see if there's just something that has a line down the middle, so I'm not just drawing two lines. The Fibonacci channel. Kevin would love that. As you can see here, we bounced off the Fibonacci's from 1968. Just kidding if you're a Kevin fan. Price range. Last one. You know what? We're sticking to it. We're just going to have to draw the multiple lines. What we can do is make sure we are. That's what I didn't like. Just my OCD just really bothers me there. All right, there we go. So we'll keep it at the same angle. Let's go right to the middle. All right. So long story short, we get a little excited. We kind of maybe not even a little excited. We just kind of stay in this range, and there's kind of your mean. And we've even bounced off this. It's very easy to sell yourself a position on this. And I do have another video coming up talking about how simple things can be, but how hard it is to actually execute on something so simple. It just messes with your brain. But not that I would really care about this trend line. I wouldn't go short here. But if we got a little excited, maybe it's time to think about a almost mean reversion play. I don't know. What I'm thinking is if we get above this zone, now this is my strategy and my wheelhouse, my yellow boxes, if you will. Anyone who's playing the 9 EMA, we got above that today. Full candle above. That is a reversal candle right above, or we're going right into a zone. So trend up, reversal candle on the daily, rejecting right at a zone. What I would like to see is actually it pull back, kind of like it did, and hold, maybe even pull back to the 174-ish mark right there, 173, kind of just ultimately creating a bull flag and a higher low. And anybody that did go short in this zone, that was your shot right here. This was like it's coming into the zone from the bottom. Hey, let's go short. There was your knife catch, type 1, 2, 3. You're already out. You're already in the profit. What I wouldn't do if it makes a higher low is play that game again. Maybe intraday. Maybe you can grab a scalp right here if you want the pennies. But I do think we keep knocking on this door. We're actually going to push this thing right up just to the 198, just to get everybody excited. The psychological level of 200, and hopefully that happens. Hopefully that happens for my position. Although I would make more money if it stayed right here or even pulled back a little bit. Standard deviation channel, is that second section in the middle? I don't know if I'd really care about that. Again, I don't necessarily care about this. What I was trying to get to, and maybe I didn't make it clear enough, just more of a characteristic of this. Hey, when it has its sell-offs, it's typically about this steep. And you can see, we're not too far from if you're just measuring what it does. Don's in one of those moods where he makes the plebes feel bad about a trade they already feel bad about. Oh, you're right. All right. Well, anyway, that was genuine. My account, when you think about trading, it's just transferring money from one account to the next. It's like a cooler way instead of just PayPaling. It's like what's that Santa Claus where is it a white elephant? Everybody just buys something and everybody just exchanges it. It's basically the stock market. And I want to shout out to the person who grew my account. Appreciate them. What do you call that? A standard deviation channel. Is that a did we miss that? That sounds like something I've actually seen. Maybe not on here. Head and shoulders. There we go. Elliott. Impulse wave. The triple combo wave. This is why I do make fun of Elliott a lot. It's always another one. There's always an excuse. It's just a different time frame. Anchored view up. Okay, we're done looking for it. Either way, long story short, we're looking to hopefully rock and roll above that zone. But the concerning part was how that market closed at the end of the day. So let's kick it off with our normal pace here. As far as the dollar, I am short the dollar. Yes, technically speaking, that does look like a pretty decent bull flag, which again would just make me red. Luckily, I picked the most broken, not security, currency to trade. Yeah, I'm short the US dollar, Japanese yen right now, and this thing is hanging out. I'm a little bit green. I'm a little bit red. I just know that I'm going to check here in a couple hours and I'm going to be nothing. As far as that deviation, I'm about 3 pennies up, 3 pennies down. A little bit more than that. There's a comma in there. Nonetheless, please tell me this is not a rally-based rally. It's going to sting a little bit. And I know this did get called out. That's a long trend up. So everyone chill on that. Although if someone could just sail over to Japan, let them know it's time to raise rates, everything's good. Also, markets have been open for a few days now. It'd be cool if they could participate. As far as the Bitcoin goes, also does look like a bull flag. So not a whole lot of as far as depending on your time frame, not a whole lot going on there as far as the dollar hedging goes. And that's when I'm buying Bitcoin, I do like to look to see if institutions are hedging the dollar with that. And then I just get really amped up as far as that goes. Or other than that, sorry, I just buy Bitcoin every week. Doesn't matter, up or down. So we finally broke out of this range, closing above that. So I would think we probably do continue up. What you probably don't want to see is a lower high. Now you'll know that's a lower high when it rejects. So we need the red candle first. So everything will be okay as far as Bitcoin's concerned. If that is a lower high right there, let's delete this trend now. All right. You know what? Let's just anchor it here. It's kind of our last little hangout spot. And that's borderline flat. If we were to even go to that level, we're flattening out. It doesn't matter where this is. This could be, we could make a higher low somewhere in this zone right here. We could have something like this going on. Doesn't matter. It just needs to, actually, if we go to smaller time frame, you'll probably see that connected. Yeah. Let's go close enough. What you want to see is a higher, if this does reject, right? If we pull back into the zone, probably more just bull flag. You can call that a higher low by all technical means. It will be. Pulling back below this yellow zone, if you are a Bitcoin bull, or especially if you have any altcoins, I know a lot of those gurus look real smart right now because a rising tide does raise all ships. Be careful if you're in the crap coins. I don't care who you follow, what you do, what your excuse is. This is just that heads up. Bitcoin will affect every one of them. If that does not put in a higher low somewhere down here, at that point, yeah, I would. If we even test this zone, if we test this zone and it bounces, could just be the best dip buy of all time. I would take that as a warning shot, as if it bounces off this zone, how much higher is that? Is it about to put in another lower high? And at that point, that would be your chance to get out. I would almost take that as, market people are blaming on the market makers. Market makers are saying, this is your last shot. We told you where we're going to go. Now we're going to back this train up and give everybody the opportunity to get off with their luggage, or buckle up, Buttercup, because we're going to send it down to 50, which is actually not that far down. In all fairness, actually 50 might not even be a bad dip buy. Yeah. All right. As far as the Russell goes, we talked about the Russell of the one looking bullish, and still there. The end of the day sell-off is what looked the weirdest to me. Now, as far as trends go, that is a bull flag. Everything from a technical standpoint still looks bullish. The Russell. Looks like it's knocking on the 155 door. What's up, everybody? Let me say hey to the chat, everybody. Isn't Bollinger a standard deviation channel? Bollinger Bands, yes. Not what I was drawing on Tesla, though. Almost trade the same. I would almost explain it the same. Secret Santa, yeah, but is it called White Elephant? AMD needs to melt down just enough to tag my 50% take profit, then I don't care. So you went short AMD, huh? Wow. Good for you. Someone's account needs that money. Just kidding. Tesla stock to jump title, jump a little will make me add more comments to this video. All right. Russell still looking good, actually. If you were to jump over to the IWM, that is a bearish engulfing, but we sold off, gapped up, sold off, gapped up, sold off. So the buyers are they're clearly playing a game of tug of war. Again, charting out something like an ETF like IWM, QQQ, or the S&P is like reading all of the Harry Potter books, but only reading the odd or even pages, right? You'll get an idea what the story is, but you're going to miss out on a lot of details. And that you might think looks bearish, but really there's no gaps at all. Everything looks fine. All right. As far as the NASDAQ goes, I specifically talked about this, about if it pulls back and only makes it this zone, all that is a bull flag, so everything's still good. But let's talk about where the red candle, and I mentioned this today because usually if there's a sell-off end of day, I almost mock it because whatever the move is, end of day, if there's a sharp move, what was I going to say? Sharp move, yeah, it's a dip buy. Has been a lot of times. And a dip buy could be a dip in calls, could be a dip in puts, depending on which direction it goes. And I've taken the opposite play a lot. So a sell-off like this, I'd be buying calls. If we shot up in a day like this, I'm buying puts. Probably SPY or QQQ. If not next day's expiration, the day after that, there's no need to go crazy with it. But it's been that way a lot. But this sell-off was just a little bit more and a little bit too fast. So that did make me hesitant. It ran right into a zone. And we saw all today, it was almost like a low volume, nothing day. So maybe someone just got a head start to the weekend, closed positions, and got out. Hard to say what caused this. What we do know, lack of buyers, right? More sellers than buyers. That's what makes the red candles. I can tell you with utmost certainty, that's what caused it. As far as the why, the leading excuse or anything like that, that might make the Twitter headlines, who knows? Dip buy until it's not. So yeah, I say that a lot. A little bit different. You hear me say it's a zone until not, right? We're testing it from the top. We're just basically range bound. We've done nothing outside of this. This will be the second outlier. We've been very range bound in the tech just market, I guess. After a run up like that, perfectly normal. Who cares? If I told you to buy right here, but you have to hold and you're gonna have to contend with this, everyone on the planet is gonna do that. Yeah, sure, why not? That's hardly a pullback. It's nothing. We're just watching our P&L dance around. It's the name of the game. Breaking this wick, I think we come all the way down here. So not only we break this wick, to me it won't be chasing, but I will jump in short. Some people think, hey, that's too. Look, you're going short now after that red candle, then this red candle, and yeah, at that point, I don't want to say the bottom's falling out. It's just going here to here. If you're a future scalper, the bottom's falling out, right? The world's ending, short the whole thing. Hold account it. 52 contracts. Why not? What's risk management anyway? But it would be more of a breakdown play, more of a trend play, and it might pick up. Red candles tend to bring on that panic and emotions a lot more than the green. So at that point, I would go short, but not until that point. As a matter of fact, I'm going to add an alert right there. And I can say right now, getting above this, gain train's on its way. Now, I'm actually red. On my QQQ. I have calls in QQQ, and I was hoping I have 445 calls. So anyway, they're down. They were down today just due to theta. I really wanted to just scream it right into this. Doesn't look like I'm going to get that unless we have just quite the recovery. We would probably need a catalyst to just send the Qs up to there. And I don't think we have any extra, letters or any news coming out. We can check the rest of the week though. Man, throwing things around my desk. All right. Rest of the week we got jobless claims, GDP growth, more jobs. Friday the market's closed. Nothing Wednesday. Interesting. No leading excuses tomorrow. Today's Tuesday, right? Yep. All right, cool. So tomorrow, probably another boring day. Let's see if Thursday brings any excitement. I know 4 letters that can make it exciting. Nvidia, yeah. All right. So as far as the S&P goes, uh, everything about this looks like a bull flag. Now I say it a lot, right? So bull flag or reversal. That right there might have everybody thinking maybe that was a bear flag after all. Kind of looks like a failed bull flag attempt. But nonetheless, if you're to grab it like a little bull flag here, here's a rally, base rally. From all of this up, again, that's negligible. That's nothing. Any of the bulls right here, they're not worried about selling. Anybody that bought the bull flag right here, not worried. The only people that are worried are the ones that maybe bought up here. Seeing that kind of sell off. Again, characteristically, the only thing that made me concerned about this was just the size of that candle, the week, and a couple of other factors, just general, like the low volume day, the nothing day we had. And then we saw that, okay, I could actually be sold on the idea that we probably got a little extended on some low volume, not to trust it. And this comes from the momentum handbook, but the low volume moves are the ones you just don't trust. They tend to just bite you if you start playing those. So on just that aspect alone, I'd be careful with the bear flag right here. Anybody trading like a 9 EMA, like scalping strategy or anything like that, you might think the trend is down. We are below, but look how many times we've crossed it just in the hour. So this isn't a strategy right now. The only thing the 9 EMA is telling you right now for anybody who does trade that is that's just choppy. So we need to be consistently on one side, like over here, before we get crazy and calling that a downtrend. I gotta say right now, it is a knife catch, but I would if you held a gun in my head and I had to take a position, it'd be long with the stop right here. Actually, I would be long 1 ES contract. My stop loss right here would be 2 contracts. So I'd instantly stop out and go short. So by the time I got that alert, I'd already be in a short position, hopefully take profit at that zone. Let's toss one more in here real quick. Nvidia. Because I bought the absolute bottom today. Until someone with that bad juju decided to copy and follow me. Was it 944? Yeah, 944. I'd bought right here, 944.17. I'd posted my chat, like I bought it, and then just a little bit later, it looks like I'm moving markets because it's just straight up. Next thing you know, I see somebody post, he bought it too. And then that happened. Thanks, Cody. What are you, mad? Mad I was going to make a bunch of money? Anyway, there are actually more than I thought. Quite a few people in my group that are that have puts on Nvidia, and that sell off. Some of you guys just kept it. So I only bought 50 shares today, so nothing crazy. That's nothing. I'm holding it a lot more. It'll be something I just sell calls on later. Obviously, I wish I would have waited, but anybody that's short Nvidia, I do want to see screenshots. Not because I don't believe you, but because I want to see how much they're up. This thing is throwing contracts around. It reminds me of just the good old fashioned Amazon days where it was $3,500 throwing contracts around. You just needed one to be a millionaire, one and halfway decent execution skills, and it was great. Only 50. What a jump. Like you don't know your risk on the second play. I mean, I know yeah, that sounded cocky when I said I know everything, but when it comes to stocks, I know everything about my money and my positions. So if you can't say the same, you're just jacking around, shooting from the hip. I know every bit of risk. I know everything and the possibilities of could Nvidia be at $500 tomorrow? Sure. Uh, is it likely? No. Can you imagine if it were to do that? Some dork out there is going to be the next YouTube guru because he paid $1 for next month's expiration. Some market maker decided to, yeah, I'll make it fill, whatever. You know, he bought like the 600s for a week out, and then it does that. I see that crap on Wall Street Bets. Is that the one? And I swear some of those guys, that's the only place I'll ever get FOMO is watching people do that. Like, no, Nvidia's going down. So they buy $400 out of the money. Next thing you know, it gaps down $500. Like, no, that was insider trading. That is, you should be investigated. I can't stand those people. And then to watch them give it all back makes it even worse. Um, oh, I'm talking about the futures double. Okay, I see what you're saying. Um, those plays are so annoying because then you have to put a stop, put a random stop on the new short. They're not annoying. No, they're amazing. But they are not for every play. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up here. Yeah, if you're curious about joining the mentorship group, should be the link in the description. Mentorship group, we're going live right now. Everyone else, you will see me for sure on Thursday. Maybe some other stuff in between. Anyway, have a good one.